superhero video games because this Friday it will be PS4's Marvel Spider-Man coming out. So in lieu of that, we're gonna be talking about some of our favorite superhero video games that has came out since the origin of video games. So, I mean, y'all start throwing some out there. We can talk about it.
I'm gonna talk about my origin of growing up.
You're not that older than us.
Even still, you said the origin of a video game.
From
I can't give you the origin of a video game because I ain't played it. Yeah, I ain't played every single one. So I'm gonna give my disclaimer. I'm just talking about the ones that I played from me growing up since I came out my mama. Huh?
No, I said this is gonna be interesting.
Yeah. So one of the first ones that I'm gonna choose is X-Men on Sega.
Okay.
The classic
The
arcade.
classic one, the left to right, shoot 'em. I mean, not shoot 'em up, hit 'em up.
Yeah.
Skull Fighter. Yeah.
Yes,
the one that's in the
Fighter.
arcade.
That had to be one of my favorite ones. That's the one that got me drawn to the superhero world. So that's the one I'm rocking with. It wasn't the best layout of games, obviously, but
The first one was really good. I like that one.
I played it over and over again as a kid. Probably because I was a poor kid in Chicago. I don't know, but I love the game.
Well, see, for me, the very first game that got me into superhero video games was 2000 Spider-Man. The one that was on Nintendo 64, PlayStation, Sega Genesis, I believe. All of those. The one where...
You had to pick up the spider coins?
Yes, exactly. Where you had to pick up the spider coins, you had to whip, and literally you could swing in the air to get to where you needed to go and fight Scorpion, Dr. Octopus, Carnage, Venom. Like, that game is... I'm playing back at it now, it's just like, okay. But at the time, that was...
I wonder if that's the same Spider-Man that I was about to say. I don't remember nothing about no coins, but mine was the PlayStation one, where I hated and loved that game at the same time because it was Spider-Man, and when you swung around, like there was no ground.
Yes,
so if you
that's
died,
the one.
okay. If you
That's
fell,
the one.
okay. Like with the one with the mist.
Yeah, with the mist on the ground, and if you jump...
That game was so bad.
Yeah.
I hated it.
It was good. It was good for the time.
Yeah,
Going back
I
at it
hated
was
it.
terrible, right?
When they made part two, and part two was open world.
It was bad.
No, I like open world games, and
It was
I like
basically
part
a
two.
rehash.
I mean, most of them, it was like Skyrim. Most of the missions were the same goddamn mission, but it had a storyline and you could free roam. So you could literally swing around the city all day.
It was arguably one of your starter free roam games. I would say that Spider-Man 2 one, but I just can't wrap my head around it. It was not great to me, but it was.
Yeah, I didn't say it was good. I just said I liked it because it was
You
a free
liked it
roam.
because of free roam,
And I ain't have to worry about falling to my death.
every time if the swing mechanic was terrible. Yeah.
Because it was like when you had to, on one mission, when you had to chase Venom around or follow behind Venom, and it's like Venom hitting turns left and right, that you just like, bro,
I can only swing like this. Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to go back old school. I forgot. TMNT on
Which one?
Nintendo.
I don't know what that is.
Which one?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, I was about to say, I thought you said 10 and T. I was like, what?
The first one,
The
second one.
first
Okay.
one.
All right.
I don't think I forgot
about that
I ever
It's
played
another
the
scroll 'em
Teenage
up,
Mutant Ninja
scroll
Turtles.
him up game. It was pretty dope.
Yes.
I only played that because my cousin had it, and I could only play that game when he was at his house because I was like 5 or 6 when I first found out about that game. So yeah, that's how I found out about that one.
For all of Julien and his friends' fanboys, Batman, Arkham City. Y'all know Julien is a fan of Batman.
Die Hard. But I mean, arguably in the last 10 years, name a better superhero video game.
Oh, I thought you were about to say name a better superhero. I was about to shut it down, boy. All right. My bad. Whew. I'm gonna blow up just now, boy.
10 Man.
Who's Tin Man? Oh, we ain't talking about the Wizard of Oz. We ain't talking about. We talking about movies. We talking about movies.
Okay.
I mean, nothing.
Batman Arkham was dope.
There's nothing because that's all DC focused their money into is Batman Arkham games.
And there's
When they did the Superman game, it was terrible.
Oh my God, the one, the original
the
one
one with the
Xbox?
rings. Oh.
Terrible.
Whoa.
And then all the other games are just Lego games.
Lego
It's like,
Batman.
I must admit,
Lego
the Lego
superheroes.
games are pretty dope.
They are, but
Depends on which.
I'm
Lego
only
game.
12 for so long.
Yeah, that's true.
I ain't got time to be playing
100%
Lego
accurate.
games all day long.
Ooh.
Marvel hasn't done any good superhero video games I can say that I've ever played outside of their Lego Marvel universe.
That's it. That's all you played.
Hey, that's all they got.
No, it's not.
Marvel
name one.
Ultimate Alliance.
No, I don't do the fighting games.
Boy,
that was the shit.
So when we say superhero games, are we talking about that hero in a storyline, or are we just talking about overall fighting games?
I mean, there was a storyline.
There's
also.
a storyline with it. Like with Marvel Alliance, basically Doctor Doom, Galactus, and there's another supervillain I'm missing that basically all came together and basically wanted to take over Ultron. There you go. And so what happens is in Marvel Ultimate Alliance is what I liked about this one, even though it was a scroll-up fighter, what happens is your decisions in the game affects what happens at the end of the story, right? So for instance, like there's a world where you go into hell, if I want to say. There's a level you go into hell and you either save Nightcrawler or Jean Grey. Whoever you lose, you have some sacrifices with it. If you went to save Nightcrawler, Jean Grey becomes a phoenix and wipes out half of the population, right? And then there was one other mission where, like, if you didn't go search around and find the cure or find something where Stryker was trying to, like, make, Stryker pulls out a virus, kills every single mutant. Like, things like that happen, and it made it so damn good to where my brothers and I were like, hey, we gotta get everything, like, try to get all the nitty-gritty stuff. So, like, either not all the superheroes died, or, like, it was that much casualties. Not a lot.
But it was still side-to-side fighting, though, right?
No, it was
4 people.
It was a couch co-op. The camera view wasn't like side scroller. It was more like
helicopter.
Helicopter path, right? And you just went on and went through there.
And you whooped ass all day. But it wasn't. You weren't just stuck to 4 characters. Like
It
just about the entire Marvel
roster.
Like,
Well, I never played that.
you got to.
What
do you have? What console do you have?
Nothing right now.
Okay.
It was on 360 and PlayStation 3.
The last game that I played that I thoroughly enjoyed was Injustice, which I love to this day.
I can see that.
Injustice didn't have the interaction thing that you were talking about. If it did, it probably would have been better. But I liked the overall storyline.
The storyline was decent on there.
I would say Injustice didn't need the interactive part of it.
I'd just say it'd been better in my opinion.
They would have pulled the player in a lot more
instead of just Superman becoming the
I like the idea that Injustice was like, hey, just like we were talking about a couple of weeks ago about like how Joker wanted to make one bad day and show how people could come down to his level. It showed me what would happen if Superman took that leap, right? And I like that part, and it showed me like, damn, like Superman can really kill people if he wanted to, right? And I don't know, I like that about Injustice and Injustice 2 because it was different.
So some of my all-time favorite games are, I'm big on mobile games. Like I love like Telltale games because I love the fact that your decisions actually affect the story.
Mm-hmm.
So a superhero game to where, you know, you give me an option, like you just said, save Nightcrawler or save Jean, and I've never played the game before, so I don't know the reaction of which one would be the better option of the two. And then I choose this one, but each one of them has like a different effect on the overall game. Like that's a good game to me. And I feel like if Injustice would have had that to where, okay, Superman is evil, whatnot, or whatever, you start the story off as Batman, and like you go throughout the story, and decisions you make changes the character, changes their, you know, overall how they affect, you know, you got Supergirl going from being like maybe the kiddie, goofy cousin of Clark to becoming more of like, you know, how she was when she became what's her name? Power Girl.
Yeah.
When she became Power Girl, she's much more of a powerhouse badass. So stuff like that can make the game better in my opinion, and I think that it'll put you more into the story overall, because it's like now it's your story, it's your choices versus. That's why I hate like level based games where you have to follow a linear path and you can't really go outside of that path because it's not your story. You're just following along with. That's why I like open world games, because I can literally go off and do what I want to do.
Speaking on the open world games, we're going to talk about a game that I'm surprised nobody picked up on yet. But on that note, that's what I loved about Arkham City so much. It's because in Arkham City, if you go dive into Gotham and go into its world of Arkham, like you will see some nitty bitty grits it's tiny little details into Batman's like world and stuff like that. For instance, in the courthouse, if you played Arkham City, if you go in the courthouse, at the bottom of the where jail cells are, there's Zaz, right? And if you go to Zaz on a specific day, and like a holiday or something like that, he'll tell you a story. He'll sit there and tell you a story about how he killed this girl, or he killed these few people at this New Year's party, or Halloween he decided to do something. Like, it was like that kind of cool. So like, I love those nitty gritty details in that story where you're like, okay, I'm inside this world and I'm getting a piece of it, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't mind the linear part of it, because for me, that's what made Batman so great, was because it gave you that linear story and it tied itself all in a nice little bow at the end of it. But also, I would go also in hand with you on that, is like, my favorite couch co-op was Marvel Ultimate Alliance, because like, I didn't know at the point after finishing the story that, damn, if I didn't do this, this, and this, all of this happened, right? And I was like, whoa, yeah, guys, let's delete this one and let's start all over again, because I do not like the idea that we just killed every single mutant out there.
Or finish this one and, you know, your unlocked players.
with those games, with the ones that your choices, like for example, Walking Dead. I don't know if you ever played the Walking Dead.
Yeah, the Clementine.
You can go back and make different decisions, even if you beat the game the first time. And when you change the decision based off of your first time playing, certain things change up in the overall storyline that didn't happen in the first one, because each character has a certain key importance to the story.
Yeah.
So like, if I chose to save you and you like a hunter or whatnot, and you know we need to go hunting, we get able to get food easier with you. But if I choose to save T, and T, you know, scared or whatnot, T stays behind, and then I'm out here by myself against all these zombies. So it's like each one of those things has a key importance.
Yeah.
But at the same time, T is good. He's a medical expert. So if I get injured, T can save. You can't. So it's like, that's why I like those stories, because if you don't play it the first time and you just go out and make what you think is the best decision, you see how the story impacts. So you can go back and play it the exact opposite way and just compare it side to side and say, okay, like this is what the choices going on left, this is the choices going on the right. And you can even mix it up. So you can go back and play it again and mix it up. Yeah. So it's like, that's why I like those. People,
I'm the medical expert.
That's why
you don't want me doctoring a cut on your finger.
But I've like I said, there haven't been a lot of superhero games for me that I could say I really enjoyed.
Like, if there were only 2 games that I had in my collection, it would be Ultimate Alliance and then the original Marvel vs. Capcom.
Not the second one?
The original.
They had
Omega Red.
Right. I understand that, but I was like, the roster, Marvel vs. Capcom.
I mean, they did have a way more diverse roster on the second one, but like I said, these games are the ones that pulled me in and just like, this is it. I love superhero stuff. That like, I play these games day in and day out with Silver Samurai and everybody else on there, and you know, you just go to whooping ass across the screen.
Well, for me, that'd be 3. It'd be the first Spider-Man for PlayStation, the second Spider-Man for PlayStation, and then this was a super old game that I just loved when I was like 10 to 13. I lost the game, never beat it, and it upset me. This is when I had my Game Boy. That was that old school Blade game for Game Boy.
I remember that.
If anybody knows that game was, oh God, I love playing that game. I get home from school, do my homework, and just go right on that Game Boy.
I'm almost 100% positive they made a Blade game. No, not on Game Boy, but later on.
I don't know about PlayStation or anything like that.
I think.
But I know that the one for Game Boy was fire. If you never played it, if you know it,
my cousin played it. I never played it.
I love that game.
I was too young. Parents wouldn't let me. So.
Yeah, I love that game.
Here's I might give it a 4.
Blade 2.
Spider-Man 2000, Ultimate Alliance, Arkham City, and I can't believe nobody has said it. Spider-Man 2.
I said Spider-Man 2.
No. The movie Spider-Man 2. The movie game Spider-Man 2. Not the one that you're talking about. The movie game.
The free roamer?
Yeah.
That's what I just
said. With the web
said.
mechanics. I thought you were talking about the Spider-Man 2 one where you were talking about with the dust and with the... Hold on.
That's the same game I just said, Spider-Man 2, bruh. You talking about... So there's 2 Spider-Man 2s. There's a Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation, and there's a Spider-Man 2 for PlayStation 2.
Yeah, I'm talking about the one for
PlayStation 2. Exactly.
Okay. Y'all don't remember that?
Yes, I remember that.
I never played the PlayStation.
The PlayStation 1 was another fighting game. It was linear, didn't have much.
No, that was PlayStation and Game Boy.
Was it Game? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was Game Boy.
I think that might have been the one for Game Boy then.
It was a side scroller beat 'em up. Yeah, that's the one for Game Boy.
Because that one, oh my god, that one was fire for Game Boy.
It was rated M for mature for Game
I'm
Boy.
like, I'm almost positive. I recall seeing my older brother playing it when I was younger. I'm like, I think there was a blade.
Yeah, that game
it
was.
was.
I ain't lying.
But yeah, the Spider-Man 2 one, the web mechanics on that one was so much better. I thought you were talking about the one where it was like a sale. It was like Stan Lee narrating the Spider-Man game, and then the sequel to that one.
Nah,
my bad.
This is the one where he open world, can do anything, fight crime. You learn new moves as you go along.
The different Spider mechanics and all that, and then you play Doc Ock. Speaking of which, I hated fighting Doc Ock at the end. It was always a problem for me in the beginning because what you had to do is, if I remember correctly, when you were in the warehouse, you had to shut off certain generators, right? And then the problem is I hate how they made him OP because literally the tentacles, he could be like, let's say like
somewhere else,
and all of a sudden the tentacle extends long enough to go smack you, right? And I'm like, where the hell did his tentacle come from? And he pissed me off because it took me about 2 hours to finish that one little mission before we fought.
It makes you feel how Spider-Man feels getting in his life, being able to be Spider-Man for a day.
But damn, that was so hard.
I didn't even beat that game.
You didn't?
No, because I don't play the storyline, man. I swing around all day and just fight crime. That's literally all I would do.
That's why.
Deliver pizzas.
That's why it took me so. I hated delivering pizzas.
I turned that game on and go fight crime and deliver pizzas all day.
I hated delivering.
Or go to the toppest building and just see how far I can get down before I swung up.
Yep.
That was it. That's why when I looked at the latest one that's about to come out, the graphics on that look amazing. Hopefully they stay the same. And then they showed one where like he was like just running down the building. Only thing I would wish they would do is that you could have interactions as Peter. Like
they are gonna have that in the game.
Like you can but Peter is playable. So like you can literally be Peter in your day-to-day life, and then like see trouble and
go up
suit up the Spider-Man. Like that'd be fire, man. Tell me that wouldn't be fire. Yeah. See, I wouldn't mind playing like a storyline like that as Peter, like a little side storyline that ties into the main storyline, and then whenever there's trouble, you can put your suit on and become Spider-Man.
Any video game developers, let's please make that a thing soon.
That'd be fire.
That would be dope. What was I gonna say? I would say though, my only problem with that Spider-Man 2 was the mini games, especially the ones with Mysterio, were annoying.
I agree.
And Veronica talked about us having our phone silent. So, but yeah, that was my only problem with Mysterio, especially when you were trying to swing to Statue of Liberty when he had like a big
Is this 1 or 2?
No, Spider-Man 2.
Okay.
And he had a big bulb in the top of the Statue of Liberty, and you had to swing on there, and for some god-awful reason, like, Spider-Man was allergic to water, and, like, either you died or he swung you all the way back to shore, and it was like...
I don't know if I got that far.
See, we clocked in about 36 hours in that game.
I did
just doing all of that crap.
Random stuff.
But hopefully... with this new Spider-Man, they said it's gonna be about 20 hours, but I wanna at least do 40 of just literally just going around the city, like literally doing all of that. Hopefully it's good. We'll see how it goes.
Let's see.
Well, guys, that is it for today. Tell us what's your favorite superhero video game. Leave your comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications. And until next time, we'll see y'all later.
Deuce.